to Dwight's Upper School Open House. Everyone, take your seats. Take your seats. This is so exciting. We're thrilled to have you all here. My name is Beth Carey, and this is Elizabeth Katz. We are your MCs tonight, and we are the admissions team for the upper school. Thank you. I did not expect applause. Thank you for coming and for experiencing Dwight. We are here to show you what sets us apart. We're here to show you what makes us special. We have a huge night here for you. You're going to hear from leadership. You're going to hear from our student panel and faculty. So let's get started. All right, first and foremost, maybe you've seen this if you came to one of our tours. We'll talk about that later. But some quick facts you need to know. First, we are 150 years old. Actually, we're over 150 years old, and we started on the east side. We were an all-boys school. A lot has changed since then in the world and our school, so we want to show you that tonight. We're located on the Upper West Side, except for this athletic center, and I'm so proud of you for all making it here tonight and reading your emails and doing the e-ticket. A couple of other things. We always get this question about how big your class sizes are. We're about 15 to 18 students in a class, okay? Another thing to notice is that we offer the IB curriculum. So all of you, if you come to Dwight, you will be International Baccalaureate students. What does that mean? You'll find out in a minute. And also, we are a no-uniform school, okay? So if you're going to a school with a uniform, you don't have to worry about that, but we do have a dress code, but it's pretty relaxed. I want to introduce a couple of our members of the leadership team here. First, on the left, we have Dr. Blake Spahn. He's our chancellor, our vice chancellor of all of our 7 campuses around the world. Kalia Adams, she is our global director of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And Eric Dale, our head of upper school. You're going to hear from them tonight very shortly. And then DeAndrew. DeAndrew is our head of school, and she's also the academic director for all of our 7 global campuses. So that means she's streamlining our academics. And unfortunately, she had to be in Dwight, London today, so she couldn't be here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting a message. Oh, apparently she left us a message from London. She wants you to all hear this. Can we cue this up?
Welcome everybody to Dwight's Open House. I'm so sorry I can't be with you today. I love our open houses and the opportunity they give you to meet so many wonderful Dwight community members. I'm actually in Dwight, London right now, helping them with their International Baccalaureate evaluation, something all of our schools do on a regular basis. I am sorry to be missing you and hearing about all the wonderful things you do and the sparks of genius you have as students looking at Dwight. My hope today is that you get to hear lots more from other students at Dwight and amazing faculty and administrators. We are 7 schools around the world with one philosophy, and that's really igniting the spark of genius in all of you. I hope I get an opportunity to meet you very soon at other admissions events that are coming up to help you make such an important decision. We love Dwight, and I hope you get that feeling today as well. Have a great open house.
So I'm so glad she could send you a message. Who knew? But now I would like to introduce you to someone who actually is here tonight, Vice Chancellor Blake Spahn. He oversees all of our 7 campuses and all of the operations. He's a Dwight parent, a Dwight alum, and interestingly, he actually received his PhD from Oxford in comparative international education. But also, one thing that you're going to hear a lot about tonight is the spark of genius. What does that mean? It means you have a passion. What is your spark? What really lights you up and gets you excited? So Dr. Spahn's spark is definitely tennis, and he will tell you all about it. He'll talk your ear off about tennis, so please go and talk to him later. But in addition to that, we did want to mention that he really is connecting our campuses. He's building our campuses and really creating a community, a very strong global community. And yes, Halloween is big at Dwight, so if you can see him over there in that Grease costume, it's big. So that's one of our wonderful traditions we have. And Dr. Blakesbond, please come on up.
Thanks very much, Ms. Carey. I'm sorry I don't have my Grease costume today. Good evening, everybody. Our mission is to ignite the spark of genius in each and every student. Now, if your spark of genius, it could be anything, acting, it could be the violin, it could be volleyball, math, science, chess. But what we found is when we really know what your passion is, it actually helps all of your subjects get better. Dwight rests on 3 pillars. So our first pillar is personalized learning. So the most important thing is to help you find that spark, because many of us don't know what it is, or to really ignite that spark. In terms of personalization, if you are 2 grade levels ahead in math, we are going to give you work that is 2 grade levels ahead. Now, if you're struggling, you're excelling in math, but you're struggling with your writing, we're going to help scaffold and help you get your writing up to par. At Dwight, we are going to meet you where you are and really help you get to your full potential, whatever that potential might be. Now, our second pillar is community. And as you saw from some of those photos, we do a lot of fun things. Upper school does a little parade for Halloween. They get judged on funniest costume, scariest costume, all kinds of things. We have a spirit week to really celebrate our community. We have pep rallies. There's also a lot of smaller communities. Anything you can want, and the kids will talk more about that. I mean, I feel like there's hundreds of clubs and activities to kind of find your space. That's really, really important. And then our third pillar is global vision. So when we talk about community, we really look at what connects all of us first and foremost. We are all citizens of the world. We are all global citizens. And you heard Ms. Drew talk about our global campuses all over the world, in Asia, in Europe, of course here in the US. And you'll all have an opportunity to experience either trips to those campuses, or you can take a trimester or even a year at another campus. If you're studying Mandarin and you really want to perfect your pronunciation, you can spend a trimester at Dwight in Shanghai. There's lots of different opportunities. If you're a performing artist, you can get on stage at Lincoln Center with the performing artists from all of our global campuses. They gather every year. Last year we did a global Sparkathon, similar to a hackathon. We partnered with the Ocean Conservancy, and we broke up into small groups at each school, and they competed with all of the other campuses on finding innovative ways to help save our oceans. So there's many, many different ways that we collaborate to really instill that global vision in all of our students. Now, the International Baccalaureate, the IB. Ms. Carey mentioned I did my doctorate in comparative international education. That is, I was studying curriculums from all over the world. And what I can tell you, without a doubt, the IB is head and shoulders above any other curriculum out there. When you think about the IB and you look at the statistics and the research, the IB has shown to really outperform its non-IB peers in almost every category. How children perform when they're in university, after university, higher scores on ACTs, SATs. Stat is, I think, 21% more likely to be admitted into a top 20 university in the US. Now at Dwight, we have been lauded as a leader in the IB for many decades. The IB Guild named Dwight the most outstanding IB school, and that's something we are incredibly proud of. The IB is a very rigorous curriculum, without a doubt. So what you can be assured of is when colleges look at your transcript and see the IB classes, that is held in the highest esteem of any other type of curriculum or class you will take. Now, not everybody needs to do the full IB diploma, nor will everybody do that. But everybody here will actually take classes, IB classes, during their time at Dwight. Everybody that does well on their IB exams has an opportunity to get college credit. Now, when we zoom in on the IB, you'll see a lot of important facts here. One thing is it's an interdisciplinary curriculum. So nothing in life is in a silo. Everything is interconnected. And our teachers are always trying to connect the different subjects for you. And the last things I'd leave you with is last night we had a great get-together with the 9th and 10th grade parents. And one 9th grade mother came up to me almost in tears, but she was so moved because it was the first time her children were loving school. It wasn't about rote memorization and repeating. It was about making things. It was about debating both sides of an argument. It was about project work, being assessed in different ways. And they were coming home loving school. And that is what the Dwight curriculum and the IB instills, which is an enjoyment, gaining pleasure out of learning. And that's something I hope all of you get the chance to enjoy. I will give it back to Ms. Carey.
Thank you, Dr. Spahn. I now would like to introduce you to two very important people talking about community here at Dwight. So we have Kalia Adams, our Director of DEIB, and she has over 20 years of experience in education. And Mr. Dale, head of upper school, he's been at Dwight for 18 years. He has been a dean of 12th grade, and perhaps some other grades as well. He was an English teacher and a few other things he just told me about tonight. So he's had a lot of hats, but he has been head of upper school for 10 years.
Hello, everybody. As so graciously introduced, my name is Eric Dale, and I'm the head of our upper school here at Dwight.
And I am Kalia Adams, the director of DEIB.
So we figured we wanted to give just a brief introduction of who we are and why we were drawn to some of the work that is community-based at Dwight. I have finished 18 years at Dwight. I'm now in my 19th year here. As Ms. Carey said, I've done a bunch of different things. But my main job, the job that I'm focusing on quite daily, is working with our Dean's Council. Many of our deans are here. When you enter Dwight, you are given a grade level dean, and they are these excellent folks that are going to usher you through the entire high school experience. And as a Dean's Council, we've adopted our own mission statement, creating a caring and principled learning community. And that is what guides all of our actions and all of our decisions and how we work with our students, how we work with our parents, how we work with our faculty and staff at Dwight. Now, for me, people ask, why is it that I came to Dwight? And why is it that I stay now for 19 years? And largely, it has to do a lot with the work of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. For me, as a gay man, it was always important to find a community that I felt included in, and where that fell short, for me to create inclusivity for others. And this was something that I pledged to do every day when I show up at work, to do that for our entire community. In that experience, I've led our LGBTQ club, I've helped co-advise our feminist club here, and inclusivity looks different for everybody in this office, in this room, and at school. But for me, those were the things that I wanted to do, and to create opportunities and feel good about coming to work every single day and know that I'm making a difference with that.
That is so cool. Well, you gave a little bit about yourself. I will say I'm Black, so. Right? This is wonderful, wonderful work, and for me too, community is the key. So as you also heard, I'm new here. So why did I come to Dwight after 20 years of experience? No one would ever think that, right? I also look very young, yes? Okay, thank you. You're making me feel really good. Is that this work is super duper important. The spark of genius. The only way you can have spark is if you love yourself no matter where you are. We have so many things going on here at Dwight, but if you don't really create the perfect you, no matter if you want to be a teacher, no matter if you want to be an artist, no matter if you want to be a super sports star, since we're in the athletics
Center.
Thank you. I'm still finding out all the right words, but it's your spark and your uniqueness. Who thinks that they have their own unique spark? Raise their hand. Oh, no. So, okay, let's put our hands back down, okay? This is the part also that Dwight really works on that makes it even more fabulous, because I didn't see like, yes, I know my unique spark and I've got it and I've got it down. Even though as we get older, we're still figuring out our sparks, right? I think so. I'm a parent of 3 and I'm still figuring out, or sometimes it changes daily. The wonderful thing about Dwight is that you have the opportunity to experience it all, to start narrowing down your spark, right? So I'm gonna do this again, and I want you to take a minute. Do you have a unique spark? Raise your hand. Okay, all right.
All right.
Well, so those of you, I really appreciate the energy on that one. That was really good. So you must send your children here to Dwight to figure out what that spark is. My hope is that you all have the opportunity to experience all the wonderful things here, all the schools, all the opportunity, because why? Belonging is important. Diversity is important. Getting to know other people's stories and all of these different unique countries and opportunity that you have to network with all these schools in Dwight. You get to have community. But the best part is that you get to share wonderful stories. You get to experience everyone's different spark, and you have the opportunity to shine.
If you commit to show up with your spark, it is the faculty who are going to help you explore that. Dr. Blake Spahn before was talking about personalized learning. Every student in the entire upper school has their own schedule. When you show up with your spark and you talk to your teachers about what that is, we're going to try our best to find ways to make your curriculum relevant to you with that spark in mind. The vast majority of what we offer at Dwight started because a student put their hand up and said, I want to do this, or I want to do more of it. And then it's as simple as finding a faculty member who is going to usher you through that project and get you there. The entire IB curriculum at Dwight is built upon you finding your spark and pursuing it through things like our personal project in 10th grade, through our extended essay, or our independent research projects in 11th and 12th grade. You are at the center as students of your learning, and the teachers in this room and at our school are the ones who are going to help you get through those 4 years. Loving it is always our hope for that.
Okay. Wow, I'm inspired. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. Okay. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for, we're actually going to ask our students and our wonderful faculty panel to come on up. Come on up, guys.
Hello, my name is Dylan Lytle, and I'm in 11th. And my spark of genius is leadership. I am the captain of the boys varsity volleyball team. Last year I was grade 10 representative, and this year I'm running for vice president.
I'm Lulu. I'm also in 11th grade here at Dwight. And my spark is business and entrepreneurship.
Hi, my name is Guy. I'm in 12th grade, and if I had to pick one spark of genius, I would say theater, but luckily I don't have to pick one spark of genius. So lately I've been exploring a lot my passions for math and physics and English, all on top of the theater that I've always done.
I can't follow that one. But my name's Allegra. I'm in 12th grade, and I would say my spark of genius is neuroscience and behavior, as well as Renaissance studies.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabby. I am currently an admissions associate, and I graduated from Dwight as part of the class of 2019, and I just recently graduated from Cornell University, so go Big Red.
All right, thank you. So for our first real question of the evening, What is it like being a brand new student? We know you're all wondering what that transition's gonna be like. It seems scary to start a new high school. So, Dylan, you're taking this one because you started in 9th grade.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Miss Carey. So I went to Fieldston for elementary and middle school. I went there for 10 years. And obviously, I was quite nervous about coming to a new school, as it is for many students. But when I arrived at Dwight, I found that it was one of the best decisions that I think my parents ever made for me. I think that it is a welcoming community full of people that are open-minded and very intelligent. And I think that when I got here, I found that, coming to a new place can be scary, but there's nowhere in the world that I would have rather came to. I've been able to open more doors for myself in terms of my academic ability. I've been able to soar to heights that I never thought that I would be able to soar to, and I'm glad to say that all those opportunities have been given to me by the Dwight community.
Thank you, Dylan. All right, and we'd also like to talk a little bit about that transition, those first few weeks at school. So, Ms. Rubenstein, since you are the 9th grade dean, and the majority of all of you are looking at 9th grade, we know. So, would you tell us a little bit about orientation? And we do have orientation
sure.
for all 4 grades.
Yeah. The orientation in 9th grade is a little bit unique because we know that people are coming in. It's a huge transition year, and the goal is really to build community and get everybody on the same page. Class of 2027 this year is 9th grade, and regardless if they are a returning student from Dwight or a new student coming from another school, the goal by the end of those couple days we spend together is that everybody feels a part of the class in the 9th grade class together. So we go to Frost Valley. We did an overnight. We stayed in some yurts. And it's a great experience. We do zip lining and hikes, and everybody gets to mingle with each other, get to know each other for a good 2 days, one night, 2 days. And I think just starting the year that way, if you're an athlete, sometimes you'll have a preseason, you'll get to know people that way. But other than that, coming into school, like Dylan said, can be a really scary thing. So having a group of friends or people that look familiar to you that you've just had a really fun trip with before sitting down in your class is a great way to start the year. Additionally, we have a little bit of a soft landing for 9th grade, so we tag on 2 additional orientation days once we get back to school. So we don't usually start until the following Monday. So they'll go to their subjects, but they won't start content yet. They'll get to meet their teachers, they'll do some more community building, some fun activities, learn about what they're going to be studying in those subject areas, and they'll get their laptops. They'll go through. We have a pizza party on the roof, and some other fun activities, just so that those first 4 days when they're coming into school is not something they're stressing about. They're feeling now like they know people, they know where to go, they know what to do. We onboard them with our systems and our softwares, and then by the time Monday rolls around, they're like, all right, I think I got this. So that's a little bit about the 9th grade orientation experience.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Rubenstein. We are talking about building community, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering also, what is that student-teacher relationship like at Dwight? So we're going to let the student panel speak to you a little bit first about what that relationship is like.
Okay, so I'm going to start. So I've been at Dwight since I was 2 years old. So I've had a long time of being here, but I recently had both Ms. Rubenstein and Mr. Freyna as my 9th and 10th grade deans. And at Dwight, they preach an open door policy. You can always talk to teachers if you're confused. You can meet during office hours. And I think there's a very strong relationship between the students and the teachers. And I know I definitely took advantage of your guys' open door policies. I was in Mr. Freyna's office quite a bit last year. But just kind of, it's very open communication, and they're always there as supporters. And I know Mr. Freyna and I were always sharing Trader Joe's muffins during our meetings, which was very fun and nice.
I have a very, very specific example of that. As a student in the IB, we work on internal assessments every year. In 11th and 12th grade, And in biology, I'm working with pepsin and bile salts. It's a long story. And my my teacher, Dr. Metcalf, has been working with me almost every lunchtime, and she's taking time out of her day to help me out with the acids I'm working with, because I'm trying to match the pH of the stomach. It's a lot, but she helps, so it's always helpful.
For me, on this topic, it reminds me of how when I went to Fieldston in middle school, I did struggle a lot because I chose to take French, and I struggled a lot with it. It was definitely a very, very hard subject for me to grasp, especially having dyslexia and ADHD. It was definitely hard for me to learn to speak the language and to write it and to read it. But once I arrived at Dwight, my Spanish teacher, Miss Soto, who I've been working with for the past 3 years and I will work with again next year, thankfully, me and her connected very, very much so. And I think that connection with the teacher and the student has allowed me to excel in Spanish in a way that I never even thought that I could before coming here. I think that by being able to work with Miss Soto and having a class of students who are on the same level as me, who struggled in the same way as me in middle school, and who have been able to come to the school and find new resources, new ways of learning that have helped all of us collectively become a new kind of student who is able to learn things that they never thought they could before, has really revolutionized the way that I think about what it means to be educated. Thank you, Miss Soto.
She's here tonight.
She's here tonight.
And I was just going to add something really quick. I know it's a little early for a lot of you, but being in 12th grade right now and going through the college process is a whole added step and an added necessity for support, really. And I just want to talk about the Dwight College Counseling Team. There's 4 counselors. They're amazing for a very small grade. And my college counselor, specifically Mr. Castro, he's literally available all the time. I schedule a meeting so easily. As of right now, our relationship has transcended email, and now we're on GChat, so that really says something about our accessibility. I'll send him a GChat, he'll send a Zoom link. Whether I'm at home, whether I'm in school, I can always reach him, even if it's like a 10-minute conversation just to calm my nerves or help me with a specific essay, or just fill out forms. There's so many forms. So that's really, really helpful.
Thank you. Let's go to the next.
Okay, so we've also heard a lot about the unique aspects of Dwight tonight, and we wanted to be sure to ask our panel, in their own words, what do you feel like is something truly unique about Dwight?
Again, kind of touching back what we were talking about before, I think something that's really unique about Dwight is the relationship between students and teachers, especially as 3 sports and clubs. I often find that I maybe can't complete an assignment on time, or I'm struggling with a specific part of a project, and teachers are always there, even if the emails are late or if they're really early in the morning, to always give me reassurance and extensions on deadlines and always meet with me if I have any questions.
I think one unique aspect of Dwight is really the international part of it, because when you look at the curriculum, the International Baccalaureate, there are 2 very big words. But when you break them down, you just look at the international part, just adding on to what the Dr. Spahn was saying earlier about how, the students could be dropped into any country in the world and they won't just survive, they will thrive. I think that at the end of the day, living in New York, especially or anywhere in America, it's very easy to get this very New York-centric view of the world. But going to a school that has a very international focus in all of your history and all of your English and all of your every subject that you take, it really broadens your worldview, so you get a more panoramic look at what's going on in the world around you and how you can kind of handle what's going on in the news, what's going on with the people around you, especially being exposed to so many different accents, languages, countries of origin. All of that has a massive effect on the development of me and other students at my school, and I know that I can say that for most of the people on the panel.
Another aspect that stands out to me like every day is the fact that, especially for 11th and 12th grade, but then also here and there for 9th and 10th, you get to pick the classes that you're doing. So I know that every single person that's in any of my classes wants to be there and has opted to be in that classroom. And that just fosters a really positive environment. Everyone is positive, everyone wants to contribute. And that's something that you don't really find in a lot of schools. And then that also creates a very different learning environment, because I have classes that's me and one other student or me and another 10. And so that just gives me a lot of different experiences based on the classes that I chose to do. So that's something that I really value every day.
I was just going to add real quick, kind of building on something Dylan mentioned about being in New York. For me, one of my favorite parts about Dwight is how our backyard is Central Park. It is just so much fun to leave the building every day and be next to Central Park, to go out there with classes, try to get out there with the cross-country team sometimes. It is just fantastic to have that as our backyard.
I think just one final thing to add as well. I really want to emphasize the sense of community we have here at Dwight. I truly mean it when I say that the Dwight community feels like family to me. Even as an alumnus coming back, it just felt so welcoming, and I felt like I was coming back home, seeing all the teachers that I was with in high school. And also, I still keep in touch with all of my friends from my grade, and it's always been such an amazing experience being back at Dwight.
We love having you here, Gabby. All right, let's move on.
Okay, and then the next question we're going to ask everyone is just about a meaningful class or project. So this is a little more specific. So I think that maybe Allegra, you have something?
Oh, well, in the IB, you work on a lot of projects. I just mentioned my biology internal assessment, but I'll go for a different one, which is the extended essay that Guy and I have both been working on over the summer, and we have just turned in our first draft, so we're getting there. I'm really interested in neuroscience and behavior, and I wrote a paper, I was allowed to write a paper on how amygdala size in American women aged 18 to 35 affects whether or not they have antisocial personality disorder. And I can't believe I said that entire title, but I read so many papers, and I had people, like my advisor was so willing to help me out with it, as well as listen to me rant about a lot of things that I could understand from what I'd learned in class, and a lot of things I still needed a little bit of help on. And I mean, it's really meaningful. It's what I want to study later on in college, and I can't believe I got to start it here, so it's really meaningful.
I will add on to a project also. And it's been a little while. I started this during COVID. I started it in my 9th grade year, my spring of 9th grade. But in my design class, which everyone took in 9th grade, we were talking about entrepreneurship and adding something our community or abroad that was missing. And so I was thinking a lot about theater and a lot about the arts, and people sending in self-tapes. I was doing a lot of plays from home using mics and cameras, ring lights, all of that. And then it hit me that I have that privilege, I have the opportunity to have all the resources, but a lot of people don't, even in New York, even in my community in the Upper West Side. And so I decided to form a nonprofit organization that gives out those supplies. And I partnered with NGOs like in Manhattan, around the 5 boroughs, and to send those materials. And I did that especially through Spark Tank, which is a program that I'm sure will be talked about more, but they gave me a full grant to execute it. And it was just a lot of support.
Yeah, which is a great transition to Spark Tank. And I'm going to we will pass the mic to Ms. Wong.
So one thing that I think everyone on this stage can agree with, that at Dwight, we really believe and we want to give opportunities for students to know that their ideas matter. And their ideas are going to be the ones that are going to lead us into a better future. So we highly encourage our students to think and to think like entrepreneurs. Most faculty at Dwight have gone through design thinking training, and they approach lesson planning and curriculum design through a design thinking lens. And just as an example, yesterday I had 2 different groups in our Spark Lab, which is our makerspace for 9th through 12th grade. It's on Columbus Avenue. It's a storefront makerspace. If you're ever walking by, please don't hesitate. Knock on the door and come in and see what we're doing. At any time of the day, you will find kids. Yesterday we had one student who has decided to create an investment firm for teachers. So he has a little side project where he's selling options and trading options, and it's fascinating to me as a design teacher to see how he's doing that. But then we met after school. He had the opportunity to meet with the chancellor of Dwight, and they decided to come up with an idea to create an investment firm for teachers. And the profits, the teachers will invest, they can invest our money if they choose to, but the profits will go back to the school, back to our Dwight School Foundation, to allow for other kids to have access to Dwight. And this was generated from a conversation, and he is so excited about it. That was one of the two. Another student was in the room, and he is obsessed with hoverboards, and he believes that students should be coming to school on hovercrafts. And luckily at Dwight I am surrounded by brilliant, and I'm not just saying this, brilliant faculty and colleagues who are so smart and who have sparks of their own that may not even align with what they're teaching, but they are brilliant colleagues. And one of mine just happens to have been an industrial designer for a good majority of his career and is now with us. And of course, I connected him to this student, and they spent an hour figuring out how to make this a reality. One thing that is really important at Dwight is this idea, not just your spark, but that your ideas, that your creativity, that your questioning of the world, that you're wanting to solve problems, real problems for the world, matters to us. And that's why we have programs like we started the Sparkathon this year, where we had kids, even if you aren't a tinker or an engineer, you were able to participate and create a social media campaign about what was going on with plastic pollution. We also have an amazing program called Spark Tank, and Spark Tank is a program where you can come to us with an idea, and we match you with mentors, and not just mentors, we match you with funding to realize your project. So it could be you started a club for Make-A-Wish, and we have my 6th graders baking. They're going to be baking at the end of the month to raise money for her club. And it's just, we will put you in the hands of people who can help you realize your ideas. And I think that is something that really sets Dwight apart, is your ideas matter. And it's a privilege for us as your teachers to be surrounded by such brilliant minds. So that is our Spark Tank program and things like the Sparkathon, which really is about personalized learning.
We're going to listen to this little video about Spark Tank from our head of the program.
My name is Matt Moran, and I'm the director of the Spark Tank program at Dwight. The school had an idea for many years that came from Chancellor Spahn. He said he wanted to have every student create a patent for something. And for years we had this idea, but it didn't really come to fruition until we came up with Spark Tank, which is a student incubator program to support them bringing an idea and actually carrying it through into something that can launch out into the world. One of the things that's kind of interesting in Spark Tank is that we know that a lot of projects aren't going to finish just in one school year. They're going to need more time, and that's the same thing with professionals trying to launch a business. They're not necessarily going to be able to finish it, based on the marking periods or the semesters or even the school calendar. So we recognized that that was going to be a multi-step process, so we helped them to get recognition for each stage of the way in their journey, from an idea to a plan to prototype all the way to launch. We've had a number of students who brought a project in one grade and have worked on it for several years, and maybe over the course of time it changes and makes that pivot or change in a different direction from what their initial idea was to something different by the end. There's such a variety of things that students have done through Spark Tank. I think initially I thought every idea was going to be an app and that it would be all about technology, but students have brought so many different ideas. We have seen tons of students who are interested in fashion. We used to not teach fashion design at all, and now it's something that's part of our curriculum because we know so many students are interested in it. We've had students in the last year launch nonprofits and all sorts of things, and they don't even have to be businesses focused on making a profit. Really, I find most students are most concerned with making an impact, trying to help someone. We're going to work with them outside of the class or in their classes to be able to develop their idea into something that they can have an impact on others with.
Now, we're trying to move on because we have so much to say and so much to do, but we do want to talk a little bit about extracurriculars, our programming afterwards.
I would like to mention the Wiser Club, which is a club that I have been a part of for 2 years now. It's an absolutely fantastic club, and we support the Wiser School, which is a school in Kenya, and it's basically an all-girls school where these girls go. It's a boarding school. And every single year we have 2 weeks that are called the Wiser Weeks, where we raise money to basically fund the school. It's been a very fulfilling experience that I've gotten a lot out of. And every year we also do a trip to the Wiser School. You fly to Zurich, then you fly to Nairobi, then you take a bus to the school. And once you get there, you stay there for a week with the girls. You learn their way of life. You learn about what it's like to really be one of these people who came from a disadvantaged kind of area, and they finally got this opportunity to really make something of themselves and bring that kind of prosperity back to their country, which I think is a very valuable and fulfilling experience to have. So yeah, mention that. Thank you.
Okay, maybe one more person. Yeah, go ahead.
Make-A-Wish, which is a nonprofit organization that grants wishes for kids with critical illnesses. And through the creation of the club, we've been able to raise, I think, over $15,000 within 2 years. And so there are a lot of different opportunities that you have to do after school, especially ones that engage in service, like Dylan said earlier.
And as you can see, there are a ton of different clubs. This just happens to be this year's. There's some that are here every single year, like Wiser, and I'm sure Make-A-Wish is going to be here for a long time, and the film club is, of course, on there. But you can see there's so many. These are all student-led clubs. Dylan and Gabby, I know we asked you to speak about Wiser, but you know what? Dylan beat you to the punch. I can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're gonna actually play this incredible video for you to understand a little bit more about this program, but really about how we have so many different trips on offer. We do have about 30 trips in a given year out for students, so they can decide what they want to do and where they might want to travel to. So let's just cue this video up now.
This is such a surreal and I thought it would be a life-changing experience, and it has been. To get to Wiser, we took 2 8-hour flights. After we landed, we got into a van. It was really cool to see Nairobi at night. I feel like I learned a lot about Kenya just from the drives themselves, because you were able to see what life in Kenya is really like. My name is Maya. I've been going to the Dwight school since I was 2 years old. I've been on a couple of Dwight trips. I went to London in 5th grade and London again in 8th grade. And I've been hearing about Wiser basically since I was in 2nd grade. Wiser is a school in Kenya. It helps girls in the Muhura Bay area get an education. I didn't really know what to expect when I first got there. It's really neat to see the different classes that they have and how they approach learning differently and similar to how we do. We kind of had a lot of time to just explore the campus and kind of see what daily life at Wiser is like. We're able to have meals with them, and it was just a really nice way to interact with the girls. We also went to the local medical centers, and we were able to see how it works around there. We also went to local markets, and we were able to see the different kind of produce that they have there. It was really cool to see and a heartwarming experience. My trip to Wiser really has impacted me in a long-lasting way. Not only has it helped me gain exposure and awareness about some of the tribulations in the Muhura Bay and the Kenya area, but I've also gained like a heightened sense of self-awareness, and I'm more conscientious of the things that I do in my daily life. I definitely think that cross-cultural exchanges are important because it helps you gain perspective, and you can apply those perspectives and approach a situation differently than you would have in the first place.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little sense of some of the opportunities that we have for traveling. And I just want to show you some of these other programs. Now, I guess what we really want to drive home for you is that these are all connected. Service and learning at Dwight, whatever you're doing, it's not like you're learning in alone in one subject. We really are doing our best to have interdisciplinary subjects and experiential learning. Okay, we got to talk about athletics because we are in the athletic center here. So let's talk a little bit about that. First, we want you to see we have all of the seasons and all the sports up here. So some of them are, main sports that you would see anywhere, but we also have some really interesting sports like jiu-jitsu. I'll get down. I see people taking pictures. I don't want,
This is on our website too.
It's on our website. It's easy to find. But okay, one last video. I can't help it. We can't help it. We got one more.
We can't help it. We're sorry.
But it's a good one, and it's an exciting one. It's a good one we're almost done, okay?
Hi, my name is Chaz. I'm a senior, and I'm on the varsity basketball team. Extracurriculars I'm involved in at Dwight include playing varsity basketball since freshman year, being a part of the student council, starting the Black Student Union at Dwight, and being a peer leader. I would definitely say basketball is a big deal at Dwight. The school takes it very seriously. Dr. Spahn and Chancellor Spahn have come to many games, and we practice almost every day, and we strive to win state championships. The past 2 years I've been taking DP courses, and it's been very rigorous, but to try to get to the schools that I want to go to is kind of what the route that I have to take.
Hi, my name is Aqualine, and I'm a senior at Dwight this year. And I've been playing on the volleyball and basketball varsity teams at Dwight for the past 4 years now. I think that in general, for being on a sports team like that, where you play 5 days a week, it really forces you to manage your time better. And that's something that's going to be really important in life and in general. And I think that those time management skills just keeps you organized and it keeps you going. And I also think that the connections that you make and the teamwork that happens in a team, that obviously is going to stick with you too, because you learn to work with people, you learn to meet new people and to be comfortable with doing those things.
My name is Kyle. I'm on the rugby and soccer varsity teams. Been at Dwight for 2 years now and loved every day, but it just doesn't get any better. The culture of the rugby team is another level. It's all love. It's just a great atmosphere. I can definitely take away the hard work and the dedication to both the sport and take that into the classroom. I don't think there's any unhappy students. Everyone is very kind and appreciative of each other. And within the classroom, it's very dynamic and a great learning atmosphere. You take a lot from it.
Okay, now we are really in the home stretch here, people. I want to talk a little bit about college. I know you're just starting to look at high schools, so it seems like a little overwhelming to talk about college, but we're gonna do it because guess who's here? Gabby. And Gabby is an alum, and we want to hear from you, Gabby, a little bit about how you feel Dwight prepared you for college and beyond. And while she's talking, I'm just putting the matriculation list up here. So go ahead, Gabby.
So as I mentioned, I graduated from Cornell University earlier this year, and I feel that Dwight and the IB curriculum in general prepared me really well for college. As we all know, the college admissions process and the application process is a very daunting one, but the team of college counselors was there for me every step of the way, and it felt very personalized in a way that I think no other school could offer that. In terms of just how the IB curriculum in Dwight prepared me for college, I felt like that ideal of personalized learning and advocating for yourself through inquiry was a super crucial part in my experience at college as well. I felt that because of Dwight's open door policy and office hours with all the teachers, I felt prepared going into college, not being afraid to go visit my professors during office hours, which was actually something that a lot of my professors commented on. They said, you know what, you're one of the only kids who actually takes advantage of our office hours, like isn't afraid to email us and say, hi, I didn't really understand the lecture today. Would we be able to go over the material again, maybe at a different time? But I felt extremely prepared for college.
You know, it's interesting. We're doing an alumni event right now where we're interviewing a lot of your classmates and beyond, and for whatever reason, they all say the same thing, and I have noticed that is definitely something that, is a through line at Dwight.
I think advocacy is something that they keep saying, that they don't hesitate to advocate for themselves.
Oh, and also, I just wanted to mention, with the IB curriculum as well, we take these IB exams at the end of our senior year, and I was able to get a lot of college credit at Cornell for these courses, so I was able to place out of several general curriculum requirements at Cornell, which was an added plus, because then I was able to place out of them.
Yeah, and that's something we've heard feedback about too, from Northwestern, from NYU, from lots of different schools.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. We're just finishing up here. We got to talk about the application process, and I think, Ms. Katz, you're doing that.
So you've heard so much tonight, and thank you to our panel. They're going to stick around a little bit if you do want to ask them any more questions, I think, right? But we know you want to apply, right? So application is open. It closes December 1st. So the financial aid deadline is also December 1st. Affordability is something we think about at Dwight. We have student interviews in person and on Zoom. So you can choose which one you would like to come to or do from home. And I think we just need to keep this moving. So we are going to invite you, if you want to learn more, if you have applied, we do have tours of our Central Park West campus every Thursday at 2:30, and there is space in those tours for our applicants. So we hope to see you on campus. We have student tour guides who will take you around, and we will also give you a brief Dwight 101 at that point too. So we know we threw a lot at you tonight. We can review this as much as you want.
Also, I really want to give a big round of applause to our students here.
Thank you to our students.
You guys rock.
Yeah, and really to everybody who helped produce this night, and we thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us here at our athletic center. We're so happy to have seen you, and thank you. Good night.
Good night.